In this topic, we're going to talk about 3 facts. One is Joint Commanders Conference JCC, and the next one is Joint Logistic Nodes JLN, then Theatre Command. We're going to talk about these 3 things. Now, in India, for the very first time, the Joint Commanders Conference has happened. Where? In Lucknow. In Lucknow, they have gone through this first Joint Commanders Conference. Why this is so important? Because in India, we have the Army, the Navy and the Air Force, and 3 are 3 different entities. They work independently. That is how we have been following for a very long time. But if you see, in most of the developed countries, all this is integrated together and they will have one commander. They will have, that is called as a theatre command. And we know that for the past few years, India is very keen in creating a theatre command because India is developing. At the same time, India has a lot of enemies around as well, and we have to concentrate in our security features. That comes first for any country. So to make security features enhanced, we need this theatre command. Why? When there is some issue, to mobilize immediately, it is not so easy if each entity is functioning differently, independently. There should be one commander who should be able to concern and command all the 3 entities and to immediately mobilize everything based on the need. For this, we need something called as theatre command. So in this first JCC, they have said very soon we are going to present this theatre command to the Indian Defence Minister, Mr. Rajnath Singh. Along with this, they have also said something else, that is joint logistic nodes. They are going to create some more new logistic nodes. Already we have 4. Now they are going to create some new extra logistic nodes. What are they? In Leh, Siliguri, Sulur, Prayagraj, that is earlier it was called as Allahabad, we know that. These are the already existing 4 nodes. Now along with that, we are going to add some new nodes, that is Mumbai, Guwahati, Port Blair. Okay, so already we are having Mumbai, Guwahati and Port Blair. Port Blair is very famous for this actually. Why? Because we are positioning a node in Port Blair in case there is an excursion from China. To directly tackle that, we need a maritime command. For that, we have placed it in Port Blair already. Now we are including new 4 nodes which are going to come in Leh, Siliguri, Sulur and Prayagraj. Sulur நமக்கு தெரியும், இங்க Air Force area கோயம்புத்தூர்ல இருக்கு பாத்தீங்களா, அங்க ஒன்னு வரப்போகுது. இந்த லக்னோவில் நடந்த நம்ம சொன்னோம் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் JCC, இந்த JCC உடைய தீம், இந்த வருஷத்தோட தீம் என்னன்னா சஷக் ஆர் சுரக்ஷித் பாரத், which means transforming the armed forces. Okay, so the total theme is Sashak or Surakshit Bharat, transforming the armed force. This is the theme. This could be a prelims question. So themes have been asked in UPSC prelims. For example, 2011 a theme question was asked. Many following years also it has been asked. So try to know this theme. And this joint logistic nodes, so far they have been proved to be successful. All this is important mains content for you. This can be used as a mains content. Why? Whether we need a theatre command, if there is such a question, you can give that already it has been proved. Joint logistic nodes are the precursor of theatre command. It has been proved that they are working fine. They have given lot of improvement as well. See here, the joint logistics the jointness in logistics is being enhanced further with the new locations. That is the new Leh, Siluri, Sulur and Prayagraj. So see the word itself, it says logistics. The main purpose of theatre command or JLN is because logistics na enadhu பொருட்கள், பீரங்கி, ஏர்ஃபோர்ஸ், இந்த மாதிரி கன், இந்த மாதிரிலாம் சோல்ஜர்ஸ், இவங்க எல்லாத்தையும் மொபிலைஸ் பண்ணி ஒரு இடத்துக்கு கொண்டுட்டு வரதுக்கு முக்கியமாக JLN வந்து ரொம்ப இம்பார்ட்டண்ட்டாக இருக்க போகுது. ஓகே, இந்த மும்பை அட்டாக்லாம் ப்ராப்ளம் கிரியேட் ஆனது இதனால தான் சொல்லுவாங்க, இமீடியட்டாக மொபிலைஸ் பண்ண முடியல அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு. ஓகே, அண்ட் ஒன் இம்பார்ட்டன்ட் பாயிண்ட் இஸ் cross posting of officers in the units of 3 service have already taken place. ஆல்ரெடி நடந்துட்டு இருக்கு. அதாவது நேவியில் இருக்கிற ஒருத்தர் வந்து ஆர்மியில் போஸ்ட் பண்ணுறது, ஆர்மியில் இருக்கிற ஒருத்தர் ஏர்ஃபோர்ஸில் போஸ்ட் பண்ணுறதெல்லாம் ஆல்ரெடி நடந்துட்டு தான் இருக்குது. ஸோ தியேட்டர் கமாண்ட் இஸ் ஆல்மோஸ்ட் ரெடி அப்படின்னு சொல்லியிருக்காங்க. அண்ட் ஒன் இம்பார்ட்டன்ட் பாயிண்ட் டு நோட் ஹியர், ஒன் ப்ரிலிம்ஸ் பாயிண்ட் இஸ் ஆல் த 3 கமாண்டர்ஸ் இந்த தியேட்டர் கமாண்டில் இருக்கக்கூடிய அல்லது ஜாயிண்ட் நோட்ஸில் இருக்கக்கூடிய கமாண்டர்ஸ் யாராக இருந்தாலும் தே ஷுட் பி 4-starred ஆஃபீஸர்ஸ். ஓகே, akin to the 3 service chiefs, chief of defense staff. Okay, so இந்த நோட் ஆஃபீஸர்ஸாக இருந்தாலும் தியேட்டர் கமாண்ட் ஆஃபீஸர்ஸ் இருந்தாலும் அதே நேரத்தில் சிடிஎஸ்ஸாக இருந்தாலும் இவங்க எல்லாம் யாராக இருக்கணும்னா தே ஷுட் பி 4-star ஆஃபீஸ் அப்படின்றது ஒரு கண்டிஷன். ஸோ ட்ரை டு ரிமெம்பர் திஸ் கண்டிஷன் ஆஸ் வெல். ஓகே, next one about the law commission. Now the 23rd law commission has been appointed. We know that. Some important details about law commission. The term of a law commission will be 3 years, factual question. And law commission is a non-statutory commission because it was not created by a parliamentary law, neither it is a constitutional body as well. It is just a non-statutory body, which means it will be created by the ruling government at that time. Which government is ruling, they will appoint a law commission. Okay, that is one important thing. And generally, usually it is chaired by a retired judge of a Supreme Court or even the High Court. Sometimes working judges also can be appointed. That is also another important point. And another thing is, what is the main purpose of law commission is two. One is they will suggest some new laws, make a law. This is really important. And another thing, when they every time a law commission is appointed, the main first job will be to go through all the laws that India have. We have been using laws since British times. So when they see some law which is useless, which has been obsolete, it's not needed anymore, they will recommend to remove that law. Thousands of such laws have been removed so far because of the recommendation of law commission. And any recommendation made by the law commission, it is not an obligation to accept by the government. Government can, it is just an advice. Government can take it or they can not take it. Some important examples of the creation of law commission. Law commission recommend பண்ணி அதனால் உருவாக்கப்பட்ட சில முக்கியமான விஷயங்கள்னா ஒன்று வந்து கோட் ஆஃப் கிரிமினல் ப்ரொசீஜர் கோட் 1973. இது லா கமிஷனோட ரெக்கமெண்டேஷன் படி தான் உருவாக்குனாங்க. ரைட் டு எஜுகேஷன் 2009, இந்த ஆக்டும் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா லா கமிஷனோட ரெக்கமெண்டேஷன் உருவாக்குனாங்க. மெயின்ஸில் ரொம்ப அழகாக யூஸ் பண்ணிக்கலாம். இது லா கமிஷனோட இம்பார்ட்டன்ஸ் இந்த அளவுக்கு இருக்குன்னு சொல்றதுக்கு. ப்ரிலிம்ஸ்லையும் இந்த கொஸ்டின் வரலாம். These two were created by the recommendation of law commission. Okay, in case a serving judge is appointed, very important prelims question. In case a serving judge is appointed as a member or chairman of a law commission, he will not get any extra salary. Our judge வேலை செய்யறது என்ன salary? Only that salary. He as a law commission member, he will be doing extra work. That's all, free work. He will not get any extra salary for working in the law commission. Only the salary of the judge which he is working for, already the salary that he is getting, only that salary he will get. Okay, and who appoints these members? There's an appointment committee. It will be a cabinet committee. Who will be the head of that appointment committee? Prime Minister. So simply it is like law commission is a group of people who will recommend to make some laws by the government, and these law commission members are appointed by the Prime Minister. It is like unofficially we can say that they are like advisors to the Prime Minister. Efficient law members who will be advisors to Prime Minister. அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு விஷயமா இதை நம்ம நினைச்சுக்கலாம். Okay, this is a non-statutory body. Try to remember this. Next one science and tech area. The rings of Saturn are going to disappear in March 2025. They are just going to disappear. They are not going to get destroyed. அது அங்கேயே தான் இருக்கும். இங்கே நம்ம பூமியிலேருந்து பார்க்கறதுக்கு நம்ம கண்ணுக்கு தெரியாது. That's it. Okay, why it's going to disappear? Why we cannot see it? It is just an optical illusion. That's all. Saturn is tilted 26.73 degrees. Like how we have Earth tilted by 23.5 degrees, Saturn is tilted by 26.73 degrees. And it takes nearly 30 years. பூமியில் கணக்கு எடுத்தோம்னு சொன்னால் 30 years to take one full revolution. When it takes one full revolution like that, sometimes or once in 13 years to 15 years, the edge of the Saturn's rings aligned will be directly aligned with the Earth. ஸோ அப்படி அலைன் ஆகும்போது என்ன ஆகும்னா, the light falling on that Saturn's ring will not come and reach the Earth because of the angle. ஸோ அதனால people on Earth cannot see that in a particular time, once in 13 to 15 years, and that year is coming now in this March 2025. Last it occurred in 2009. But apart from this, I told you it is not going to get destroyed and all. We cannot just see it. It's just an optical illusion. But way back in 2018 itself, they already said, NASA said, very soon Saturn will lose its rings. Okay, why it's going to lose its rings? Slowly Saturn will pull it, because these rings are nothing, simply they are ice crystals and some rocks. That's all. Saturn's gravity will slowly pull it, and it will take nearly 300 million years for the rings to completely disappear. it has all get destroyed. And it has already happened for other planets. Other big large planets like Jupiter also had rings, and they were slowly drawn to the planet. And Cassini spacecraft, it is an already old PYQ. It was sent to research on Saturn, and this Cassini spacecraft only found that this rings of the Saturn are made of ice and rocks, and these rings were not always present for Saturn when Saturn was created. It recently they were found only just 100 million years ago. In the geological time scale, 100 million years is very small actually. Only just before 100 million years these rings were created, not before that. Before that, Saturn did not have these crystals actually. So how these rings were formed then? Because Saturn had two different moons at that time. These two moons crashed and it got broke, and the pieces are floating around it. Okay, it's actually moon. Okay, next topic is Singapore and semiconductors, a very good important topic for GS3 and also for international relations GS2. Okay, so we'll see what is this. An Indian Prime Minister visiting Brunei. Okay, so our Indian Prime Minister Mr. Modi has been visiting two countries at present. One is Brunei and another is Singapore. First he visited Brunei. This is for the first time an Indian Prime Minister is visiting Brunei, because Brunei is very important in the Act East policy. We earlier had Look East policy, we changed it to Act East policy, and one of the important country coming under this Act East policy is Brunei. This is one thing. And Modi has visited the monarch of Brunei, Sultan Haji Hassanlal Bolkiah. He is called as the world's longest reigning monarch. One extra information, I don't think it's very important for exam, they are not going to ask, but anyway, we'll just know it. And the second phase, he has visited Singapore, and many deals have been signed regarding digital technology, health, skill development, everything. And one such important thing is they are going to talk about semiconductor. And Indian semiconductor mission, we know, was launched in 2021. And under this mission, they had something called a chip incentive scheme. What is this chip incentive scheme? If someone wants to start a chip company, let us say you want to start a chip company, out of the total amount that you need to invest as capital, 50% padi will be given by the government as a subsidy. That's it. Okay, you need to have only half the capital. Rest half capital will be given by the government under the scheme. Okay, and there were many editorials at that time because of this scheme as well. There are people who come just start the company for the sake of the incentive, and after some they'll shut the company and run off. Okay, this could also happen. This was one of the criticisms for this scheme, but actually the scheme is going really great, and it's going to be one of the important schemes India has ever made. And recently, Tata Group and Taiwan's PSMC, Power Chip Semiconductor Manufacturing Corporation, they have made a deal to manufacture chips in India. We know that India is completely importing chips, and these chips are become so important nowadays, particularly because of high need of GPU and artificial intelligence and all. We need chips at a very high numbers, but we are still importing them. So manufacturing them becomes really important. And moreover, there is something called as China plus one policy. What is China plus one policy? All those companies operating in China, they find difficult to operate in China now. So they are trying to find alternatives. They are not trying to just directly get run out of China, but let us have a base in China. I will have one more alternative as well. If there is some problem in China, I will have one more base. So which country is that one more base? There is a competition for this. So it is not just India. And there are certain countries which are ahead of India. They are trying to capture this China plus one opportunity. And one such country is Thailand, Philippines. All these countries are in competition already with India, and India is also competing, and the Singapore visit is one such issue. And already there was a prime minister in the past for Singapore called as Lee Kuan Yew. And Lee Kuan Yew told President Richard Nixon in 1973 that he was counting on exports to create employment. He wanted to create employment in Singapore, so he wants to export a lot of products. So for that, he wanted to create export companies in Singapore, and that is how they took the help of US and they developed Singapore. And India is trying to do that now with the help of Singapore as well. Okay, now as of now, Singapore contributes 10% of semiconductor output. It is actually less when compared to Taiwan or China. Okay, and 5% of global wafer fabrication. They are good in already in chip manufacturing. India is going to make a partnership with them now. And in 1960s and 70s, American chip making companies, they wanted something. They wanted low cost labor and place to start their companies. And Singapore was one such destination for them. And now it is being some countries like India. Already, if you see, in Thailand, it has started. Thailand has been one of the destinations for chip manufacturing companies. But Singapore, if you see, they are good in chip manufacturing, but not all types of chip. They are good in manufacturing only mature node chips. What are mature node chips? You can simply take it as they are big sized chips. They are used in things like cars, all these things. But they are not equipped in high-end logic chips, like which is used in AI sector. And what is the difference between mature node chips and high-end logic chips? The one important difference is mature node chips, their size is 28 nanometer or more. Prelims question, this could become. Science and tech, whenever we have factual detail, we should be careful there. And in the case of high-end logic chips, the size of the chip will be less than 7 nanometer. Okay, in that case, they are called as high-end chips. Already, Thailand is one such country which is in competition with India for this chip manufacturing, and we have to see whether India is able to get a piece from this cake. Next one, regarding artificial intelligence, first globally legally binding pact has been made. We have seen many AI pacts and acts and all have been made. European Union has made. Last year we saw the Bletchley Park Declaration and so many things had been made. In G20, artificial intelligence related conventions were spoken, but nothing was legally binding. But for the first time, legally binding pact has been made for artificial intelligence. And who have made this? EU and UK. EU and UK, they have jointly made this pact. This pact is called Council of Europe's Convention on Artificial Intelligence. So try to know this name as well. Officially, this pact is called as Council of Europe Framework Convention on Artificial Rights and Human Rights, Democracy and Rule of Law. So why have they created this? They wanted to safeguard democracy. They wanted to safeguard privacy, all these things from artificial intelligence. For this, they have made this pact. And it includes public sector, private sector, and it is applicable across geographies. Entire world kind of pact, not for some countries. Any country which accepts this pact and signs, they will become, signatories will become accountable for any harmful or discriminatory outcomes of artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence, signatory countries must be responsible. So they should take care that artificial intelligence does not cause this problem. And we'll come across another article later, where we will say that labor will have some problem because of artificial intelligence. People might lose job. Okay. So when a country ratifies it, they have to take care of certain things. One thing is they have to take care that AI does not affect human rights. It does not affect the integrity or independence of any country. It does not affect the democratic process in any country. All these things they have to take care. Signatories have to take care. And before this declaration, other declaration had been signed. One is G7 Pact on Artificial Intelligence. It was signed in 2023. Another one, Europe's Artificial Intelligence Act. An act was made in 2023. And then Bletchley Declaration again in 2023. 2023 alone, there were 3 pacts for artificial intelligence. And now this pact is legally binding. That's the difference. And this G7 Pact, which was made in 2023, it had something called as International Code of Conduct for Organizations Developing Advanced AI Systems. So any company, any organization that is creating AI, they will have a code of conduct. And there are 11 points of this code. And then we had the Bletchley Declaration. Why all these declarations and pacts were made? One reason is people had a fear. People have a fear on this. Examples, people like Elon Musk, Apple's co-founder Steve Wozniak, and all these such people, they have said that they have signed and sent an open letter itself. They have not just said, they have sent an open letter saying that there should be a 6-month pause for AI development until a shared safety protocol is drafted, until there is a proper draft made, a declaration made with the entire all the countries in the world. Any improvement in artificial intelligence should be paused. It should be stopped. They have said. They say it could become a very big threat. And that is why all such declarations are being made one by one. We have to wait and see what happens next. This can be used. This point can be used very well in mains. Okay. And one important point here is it is legally binding, but it does not have any punitive sanction or penalties or fines, anything. It is legally binding, yes, but if you don't follow, what will happen? Nothing will happen. That's all. Okay, no fine, no legal action, nothing. Okay, this is another important point. This legally binding pact, it is not having any penalty. Next topic. For the first time in modern India, it has been seen that in Indian households, the spending for food has gone down. Whether this is a good news or bad news, economically this is a great news. In developed countries, people's spending on food, the percentage of amount they spend, like for example, if they earn 100 rupees, how much rupees they spend for food alone? Almost 80% of money of his earnings, let us say, for food. It means they have a low quality of life, which means their earning is very less. Most of the money that they earn is spent for food itself. Very little they have for the upliftment of their life or any leisure activities or whatever. So if now in India they say that the amount spent, the percentage of money spent for food has gone down, which is a great news. And now we have to see the details in that, why it has happened. That is the important point here. Now this you could use in GS1 in human geography, GS3 economy, all these places you can use. So GS3 is the main place for this article. How it has, and also GS2 schemes, whether freebies, welfare activity schemes, giving free things are good or bad. If such a question comes, you can use this to give a for point, a supporting point. Yes, freebies are good. For that you can use this. How this percentage of money spent for food has come down is primarily because of free distribution of wheat and rice. This is one important thing. And who has said this? EACPM, that is Economic Advisory Council to the Prime Minister's working paper. They have released a paper, and this paper gives this detail. And this decline in percentage of money spent is more for bottom 20% of the household. This is more important. We are already talking about inequality in India, but this is a good news. It is against inequality in India. And this shows the effectiveness of food security policies in India. It's working good. It's fine. And what have the people done because of this? Because the food cost has gone down for them, they have diversified their diets. What is that? Things on milk products, meat, fish, all these things. They are spending more money for these things, which means the nutrition problem in India, which is a huge issue in India for a very long time, could be solving by now. It's actually solving little by little. And one such scheme which gave free wheat and rice is Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Anna Yojana, which gives 800 million eligible people free food grains. Okay, this is one important scheme for this. But something negative is also happening here. What? Not negative, not something not positive is seen here. Though the amount spent on food is reduced, though food diversity has happened, but yet this problem of anemia has not improved. We know 50% of women in India are anemic. We know that, and that there is no any improvement in that alone. We have to wait and see that. And this improvement has seen mostly in some specific states in Northeast, that is Sikkim, Arunachal Pradesh, Tripura. They have made a significant improvement in this. This is another important point. Okay. Now the next topic is biotechnology for economic development. Biotechnology, what is it? We use technology to change biology. That's it, biotechnology. That is something that is happening naturally. We try to mimic it. For example, when there is a particular vitamin, it is naturally created by the body. Now, if you create it in the lab, that same vitamin, that is biotechnology. Okay, simple examples like this. When you mimic nature, it is called biotechnology. Now, for biotechnology, the government has come up with a new scheme called as Bio E3. What is that E3? Economy, environment, and employment. So these three things have to be enhanced using biotechnology. This is the idea. So biotechnology includes genomics, genetic engineering, synthetic biology, gene therapy, all these things. like creating new varieties of plants. All these things come under biotechnology. And let us see a new term for prelims. Precision fermentation. What is this? When animal free milk is created, okay, it has the same texture, it's very similar to milk, but it is produced in the lab. It is not produced from an animal. So simply milk is produced in the lab. That is called precision fermenting. So what will this help? It will reduce the carbon footprint, it will reduce the killing of animals, all these things, because we know having farms with the cattle, it produces a lot of carbon dioxide, it produces a lot of methane. It is a very good global warming problem. Okay, so that can be reduced. That is one thing. Apart from this, there can be substitution for plastics, where bioplastics can be used, such as polylactic acid, which are biodegradable. And these plastics are not made from hydrocarbons, but made from natural products. And synthetic biology. What is synthetic biology? As we told before, creating proteins, enzymes, all these things. And one more term, organogenesis. What is this? Creating organs in the lab. Now, if you want to replace a kidney, you have to go for a donor. A donor has to give you a kidney, and then you go for a kidney transplantation. But now the technology is improving in such a way that they are trying to manufacture kidneys in the lab, and that is called as organogenesis. This is going to be the next path-breaking point in biotechnology. And this Bio E3 policy, it is going to try and envisage in setting up several biomanufacturing hubs across India. Biomanufacturing but நிறைய hubs உருவாக்க போறாங்க. And these hubs, places where biotechnology is going to happen, they are trying to focus on 6 areas: bio-based chemicals and enzymes, food and smart protein, biotherapeutics, climate resilient agriculture, and space research, futuristic utilization, all these things. Okay, these can be used in mains, where India in what is Bio E3 trying to do. And how they do this? By growing special plants or microorganisms like algae in special space habitats. Why they are going to do this? Support system for astronauts. Okay, because they go there, they can grow their own food, they can manufacture oxygen. All this, how they are going to do? Using biotechnology, they are going to create microorganisms like algae in the space. And which department is going to do this? Department of Biotechnology will be the node department for Bio E3 policy. Next topic. In a place called Baraik district in Uttar Pradesh, wolves have been hunting down people. They have injured, they are actually eating people. So now they are trying to find out what is the reason for this. A very simple small news, you can use it somewhere in mains, that's all. One reason some experts say is wolf dog hybrids. People who have pets which are actually not dogs but hybrids of dogs and wolf, after some time when they're aged or something, they let them to the jungle. They go inside, they don't have food to eat, they are not very skilled in hunting as well, they go and eat people. So this is one thing that could be the reason. And this is not the first time, it has happened already. 1985 to 86 it has happened in Madhya Pradesh, in Uttar Pradesh, in various places this has happened. And one more thing is loss of wild prey. We shoot down all these goats and deer and all these animals in the forest, so these wolves don't have food to eat, so they turn on to humans. So it is not we usually talk about man eaters, lions or tigers, but now wolves are becoming man eaters. Next topic is about OpenAI's Project Strawberry. Could be a prelims question. So this is a project called Project Strawberry. And what is this Project Strawberry is? They are trying to create the most powerful AI model. Earlier the project was called as Project Q Star. Now they have renamed it to Project Strawberry. And they are going to later integrate it to ChatGPT as well. So what is the reason for this? They are creating this because they are trying to enhance ChatGPT even more. ChatGPT has found to have some mathematical restrictions. It's not able to do some complex mathematics. But this Project Strawberry is going to do some complex mathematics, and it's going to be more accurate in mathematics as well. So for that, they are creating this Project Strawberry. Apart from this, there is another project called Project Orion. it is designed to outperform GPT-4. So ChatGPT-4 விட இன்னும் கொஞ்சம் பெட்டரா மாத்துறதுக்காக they are trying to have another project called Project Orion. So you don't need much details here, only 2 facts. What is Project Strawberry, what is Project Orion? That is enough. Both are projects which are trying to enhance ChatGPT. That's it. Now the next topic is Loss and Damage Fund. We know Loss and Damage Fund was created by the UNFCCC very recently. Why that is created? When any country faces any sort of economic or non-economic loss because of climate change, they can get some money from this fund, from this UN fund. Now whether Kerala can get this, because Kerala has recently seen a huge flood, and for the past 2 or 3 years various climate change related loss has been happening in Kerala, whether they can get this fund. This is the topic here. Now, Loss and Damage Fund was created in 2022 in COP27 in Egypt. Factual details, try to know them. Now, what is the problem with this? Though the fund has been created, it is very slow to be accessed. It's not so easy to immediately get the money from this fund. What is the problem? We are not having proper information to submit. That is considered to be one of the important problems. Now, why is this? It's because of the absence of a standardized method for conducting comprehensive assessment of disaster related damages. We are not able to have a proper method to assess what is the damage that has happened, how much money will be needed, how much money the central government and the state government can manage with, how much money we need more, so that we can go and claim money from this Loss and Damage Fund. We don't have a proper method, scientific method to assess the loss that has happened. So it takes a lot of time to get the money. So in the last flood or anything, most of the damage was managed by the state government of Kerala itself. They were not able to get help from outside because of this lack of a procedure to find out the damage. So that is why the way forward, what we are going to do is, we have to establish a more explicit domestic policy framework that will focus on locally led adaptation and clear guidelines for accessing loss and damage. Simply one line. We have to have a proper method to assess the damage when any climate change related loss or damage happens, any flood or something happens. Okay, this is a very good point for mains. You can use this in mains. Next topic, the International Labour Organization says AI will reduce labor income. Okay, always when new technology comes, there will be a fear that that technology will bring down work. People might lose job, they might lose salary, all these things. Now, I'll give you a practical example for this, not related to this topic, but related to the issue. Way back in the 1970s and 80s, actually the state that was chosen by most of the investors and the company owners as the IT hub was not Bangalore. Now, if you ask which is the IT hub of India, we'll say Bangalore. But actually it was not Bangalore that was chosen first. The state that was chosen first was Bengal, West Bengal. Kolkata was the city. But then what happened? Why people started to move out and start their firms in Bangalore rather than Kolkata was because that time Kolkata was ruled by communists. And there was a huge protest there. If computers are introduced, all the people like clerk, all these people will lose their job. It is against workers, it is against socialism, communism, because there was a huge protest. So all these people moved out of Kolkata, and they thought it is very difficult to start a company and run here. It is not easy here. So I'll go to Bangalore. Bangalore welcomed them with the red carpet. And now we can see how much the per capita income or lifestyle of people in Bangalore has increased, and at the same time how much Kolkata or West Bengal is lagging when we compare it with Bangalore. Okay, so but later what happened was, whenever technology comes in, there might be a short period of time where people may lose job, but when they learn the technology, they go to a higher level of labor. That is what this introduction of IT into India proved. But we are not very much certain that that same thing could happen with AI, something different could happen. But historically we have seen is, whenever new technology comes in, there is no much threat where people lose job. The job changes, it changes into some other job, but losing the job did not happen. But here in AI, International Labour Organization has given a report that AI could reduce the labor income. And they have said this in a report called world employment and social outlook. The story of Bangalore and Kolkata, you can use it very well in mains if such a question comes for you. Okay. And what this report has said is benefits of technological progress should be widely distributed. So if one company creates something for a huge software or something, that person becomes a billionaire, and here some people lose job and they become beggars. That should not be the situation because of AI. That is what this ILO report says. Benefits of improvement in technology should be distributed to everyone. We know benefits of environment. Anything that we acquire from environment, the benefit should not be going to one person. It should be distributed. That is what Nagoya Protocol said. Similar to Nagoya Protocol, this is ILO. Here, this says technology improvement, the fruits of technology improvement should be distributed to all. That is what this ILO report says. Again, this is a very good content for mains, apart from this one point where you could use it for prelims question as well. The next topic is vertical fiscal imbalance. Vertical fiscal அப்படின்னு சொன்னாலே one thing, central government தன்னோட ஃபண்டை வந்துட்டு பணத்தை வந்துட்டு ஸ்டேட் கவர்மெண்ட்டுக்கு கொடுக்கறது, கிராண்டாக இருக்கலாம், இல்லை டேக்ஸ் டிஸ்ட்ரிபியூஷனாக இருக்கலாம், எதாக இருக்கலாம். அதை தான் வந்து வெர்டிக்கல் ஃபிஸ்கல் அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவோம். இது வந்து இம்பேலன்ஸாக இருக்குன்னு சொல்கிறாங்க. அதாவது என்ன மீனிங்னா, இப்போ ஸ்டேட் கவர்மெண்ட் தன்னோட செலவுக்கு 100 ரூபா தேவைப்படுதுன்னா, அதுக்கிட்ட இருக்கிறது வந்து அதனால் அது டேக்ஸ் மூலியமாக அது கிடைக்கிறதும் வெறும் 50 ரூபாய் தான் இருக்குது, பணம் பத்துறது இல்லை ஸ்டேட்ஸுக்கு. அப்படின்றது தான் வெர்டிக்கல் ஃபிஸ்கல் இம்பேலன்ஸ் இருக்குது அப்படின்னு சொல்கிறாங்க. சரி, பார்க்கலாம் என்னன்றது. இது யார் சொல்லியிருக்காங்கன்னா, 15th Finance Commission has said this. States incur 61% of revenue expenditure but have only 38% of revenue receipts. That is, the ability of states to incur expenditures dependent on transfer from the union government. So அவங்களுக்கு தேவையான செலவுகளை பார்த்துக்கிறதுக்கு டாக்ஸ் இன்கம் வச்சு பண்ண முடியறதில்ல. ஒரு தடவை சென்ட்ரல் கவர்மெண்ட் எதிர்பார்க்க வேண்டிய நிலைமை ஒன்று இருக்கு அப்படின்னு சொல்லியிருக்காங்க. Now this is a prelims question. Personal income tax, corporation tax, some part of indirect tax, all these are collected by union government. This is a fact. Now this 15th Finance Commission has said vertical imbalance than most other federations is seen in India. That is what they say. Particularly it has increased after COVID. Now Article 275 of the Constitution says grants should be given to the states in need of assistance. இப்போ ஸ்டேட் கவர்மெண்ட்டுக்கு பணம் தேவைப்பட்டால் சென்ட்ரல் கவர்மெண்ட் அவங்களுக்கு கிராண்ட் கொடுக்கணும்னு சொல்கிறது Article 275. This has lot of prelims points, this article. But this Article 275 grant is only for short period and specific purpose. வருஷம் கொடுக்குற காசு இல்லை. சடனாக ஸ்டேட் கவர்மெண்ட்டுக்கு ஒரு தேவை, ஏதோ ஒரு பிரச்சனை, அவங்களுக்கு பணம் தேவைப்படுதுன்னா இமீடியட்டாக சென்ட்ரல் கவர்மெண்ட் வந்து ஒரு கிராண்ட் கொடுக்கணும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லியிருக்காங்க. அண்ட் திஸ் கிராண்ட் ஆஃப் Article 275, it is outside the Finance Commission's ambit. ஃபைனான்ஸ் கமிஷனோட வேலை என்னது? சென்ட்ரல் கவர்மெண்ட் எவ்வளோ பணத்தை ஸ்டேட் கவர்மெண்ட் கொடுக்கணும் அப்படின்னு அமௌண்ட்டை சொல்கிறது ஃபைனான்ஸ் கமிஷனோட வேலை. பட் திஸ் ஃபைனான்ஸ் கமிஷன் telling how much money you should give to the state government, it does not count Article 275. Article 275, it is like it is the wish of the central government. எவ்வளோ கொடுக்கணும்னு அவங்க கால்குலேட் பண்ணுறாங்களோ அதை கொடுக்கலாம், அந்த மாதிரி. Apart from the grants, apart from the tax distribution that central government gives, there are other places where the central government contributes to the state government. What is they? Central sponsored schemes, central sector schemes. இது மூலியமாக ஸ்டேட் கவர்மெண்ட்டுக்கு தேவையான செலவுகளை சென்ட்ரல் கவர்மெண்ட் ஆல்ரெடி கொஞ்சம் பார்த்துக்கிறாங்க. Now another economic question, prelims question. How vertical fiscal imbalance is measured? In India, vertical fiscal imbalance is measured not for every state one by one. It is measured overall for India. Okay, complete மொத்த இந்தியாவுக்கு சேர்த்து எவ்வளோ ஃபிஸ்கல் இம்பேலன்ஸ் இருக்குது அப்படின்னு மட்டும் தான் கால்குலேட் பண்ணுவாங்க. இது எப்படி கால்குலேட் பண்ணுறாங்க அப்படின்னு சொல்கிறதுக்கு ஒரு ஃபார்முலா ஒன்று இருக்குது. Okay, what is that formula? We use a globally accepted method. Now the numerator is the sum of own revenue receipts, okay, and tax devolution from the central government. Central government எவ்வளோ டேக்ஸ் கொடுக்குதுன்றதையும், அது மட்டும் இல்லாமல் ஸ்டேட் கவர்மெண்ட் அவங்க எவ்வளோ டேக்ஸ் கிடைக்கும், மொத்தத்தில் ஸ்டேட் கவர்மெண்ட் எவ்வளோ காசு கிடைக்குது, அது நியூமரேட்டரில். Denominator is own revenue expenditure of all the states. Revenue expenditure of all the states together is in the denominator. Now if this value is less than 1, it says that the sum of own revenue receipts and tax devolution of states is inadequate to meet the expenditures. அதாவது இந்த வேல்யூ வந்துட்டு 1 விட கீழே போகுது அப்படின்னு சொன்னால் ஸ்டேட் கவர்மெண்ட்டுக்கு இருக்கிற பணம் அவங்க செலவுகளை பார்த்துக்கிறதுக்கு பத்தாது அப்படின்னு சொல்லி அர்த்தம். ப்ரிலிம்ஸுக்கு மெயின்ஸுக்கு ரெண்டுக்குமே திஸ் பாயிண்ட் இஸ் இம்பார்ட்டன்ட். ஓகே, now what they will do is they will take this number and equate it to a ratio 1. Now equating the ratio to 1 would eliminate VFI. ஸோ அப்போ என்ன பண்ணணும்னா வேல்யூ 1 விட கீழே இருக்குன்னா we should find some way to increase this and bring it equal to 1. Then there will not be any fiscal inequality அப்படின்னு சொல்லியிருக்காங்க. VFI வந்து இருக்காது அப்படின்னு சொல்லியிருக்காங்க. But the shares of tax devolution recommended by 14th Finance Commissions were only 42 and 41. 14th Finance Commissionல எவ்வளோ அமௌண்ட்டை வந்து டேக்ஸ் அமௌண்ட்டை ஸ்டேட்டு கொடுக்க சொன்னாங்கன்னா 42. 15th Finance Commissionல 1% குறைச்சிருக்கிறாங்க 41. Important. 15th Finance Commission's recommendation of tax devolution is 41%. It is less than 42 actually. Now they add force to this demand by pointing to the exclusion from the net proceeds of the substantial amount of cess and surcharges which truncates the net proceeds within the gross tax revenue. So இந்த கொடுக்குற பணமே பத்தல, அது பத்தாம என்ன பண்ணுது அப்படின்னு சொன்னா செஸ் அண்ட் சர்சார்ஜ் எல்லாம் வந்துட்டு சென்ட்ரல் கவர்மெண்ட்டுக்கு போயிடுறதுனால அதுவும் ஒரு பிரச்சனையா இருக்குன்னு சொல்றாங்க. ஸோ we should find ways to bring down this vertical fiscal imbalance அப்படின்னு சொல்றது இந்த ஆர்டிக்கல். Next article is state changes in rape law. Now recently we know that there was a issue in Kolkata. A doctor was raped and killed. After this, some new changes are happening in law. In Bengal, the state government has made a new law. That is Aparajita bill. அப்படின்னு ஒரு bill போட்டிருக்கிறாங்க. Later it will become a law maybe. And Bengal is not the first state to introduce such bill. Before Bengal, Andhra Pradesh, Maharashtra, these states have also already created such bills. We'll see them one by one. So what is the Aparajita bill is one thing. Mandatory death penalty in case of rape if the victim dies or they go to coma stage, vegetative state. அதாவது mandatory death penalty is not for rape, but if rape is done and if the victim dies or goes to coma, then it becomes mandatory death penalty. அது வந்துட்டு there's no option at all. Death penalty becomes mandatory. Okay, so this is the bill, the Aparajita Women and Child Bengal Criminal Law Amendment Bill 2024. Now what this bill does, it is amending the provisions in BNS and BNSS both and also POCSO. So மூணு இடத்துல கை வைக்கிறாங்க, BNS, BNSS, POCSO மூணு இடத்துலையுமே அவங்க அமெண்ட்மெண்ட்ஸ் பண்ணுறாங்க. we'll see what are the amendments one by one. And one important fact is இதுக்கு முன்னாடி ஆந்திரா மகாராஷ்டிரா ரெண்டு பேரும் இந்த பில் போட்டாங்க, ரெண்டுக்குமே வந்துட்டு இப்போ வரைக்கும் அப்ரூவல் கிடைக்கல. they are still with the president, they have not become acts. That is one another important point here. Now coming to Andhra Pradesh's act, this act says death penalty for rape or gang rape of a woman only below 12 years of age. If the person is less than 12 age, then definitely death penalty. This is what Andhra Pradesh bill says. And what are the important facts in Aparajita bill of Bengal? Imprisonment for life in section 4 clause B of BNS. This includes simple imprisonment and rigorous imprisonment. What is rigorous imprisonment? Prelims question, note it down. Rigorous imprisonment na enna meaning அப்படின்னா it involves hard labor during sentence. You just don't go to the prison, eat whatever food is given, you can sit there. That will not happen. If it is a rigorous imprisonment, lot of work will be given to you. Some rigorous work will be given to you. You have to work there. That is the difference between rigorous imprisonment and simple imprisonment. So in case of rape, any type of imprisonment can be given. So what does this section 64 of BNS say? Here, floor punishment for the crime and for punishment in cases where aggravating circumstances are present. So normally, if there is a rape case, there is one punishment. But if the case is in aggravating situation, the punishment becomes more. What is aggravating situation? Very important Prelims point here. Aggravating situation, if a public servant is involved, armed forces person is involved or during communal violence. இந்த மூணு சிச்சுவேஷன்ல வந்துட்டு ரேப் நடந்துச்சுன்னு சொன்னா punishment becomes more. The maximum punishment will go up to imprisonment for life. Entire life-ல பிரசன்ல இருக்க வேண்டிய நிலைமை வந்து ஏற்படலாம் அப்படின்னு சொல்லியிருக்காங்க. Now this section 64 is amended by this Aparajita bill. ஸோ அங்கே வந்து லைஃப் இம்ப்ரிசன்மெண்ட்னு கொடுத்துருக்காங்க. இவங்க அதை மாற்றி லைஃப் இம்ப்ரிசன்மெண்ட் ஆர் டெத் ரெண்டுமே கொடுக்கலாம் அப்படின்னு சொல்லியிருக்காங்க. when the situation is aggravating circumstances. அந்த மாதிரி இருந்துச்சுன்னா லைஃப் இம்ப்ரிசன்மெண்ட்னு சொல்லிட்டு பிஎன்எஸ் நார்மலாக சொல்லுது. ஆனால் அபரிஜிதா பில் அதை அமெண்ட் பண்ணி அது வந்துட்டு டெத் பெனால்ட்டியும் கொடுக்கலாம்னு சொல்லி மாற்றிருக்கிறாங்க. ஓகே, now this Aparajita bill, it deletes something called as mention of all punishments barring death. டெத் சென்டென்ஸ் இருக்கக்கூடாதுன்னு சொல்ற எல்லா இடத்தையுமே அவங்க அமெண்ட் பண்ணியிருக்காங்க. டெத் சென்டென்ஸ் எங்கெல்லாம் டெத் சென்டென்சஸ் இல்லாமல் இருக்கும் அங்கே எல்லாம் டெத் சென்டென்ஸ் கொடுக்கலாம்னு சொல்லி அமெண்ட் பண்ணியிருக்காங்க. Now section 70 of BNS that talks about gang rape. All are important. This article is fully prelims facts. Okay, this is the provision for death penalty in case where the victim is under 18 years of age. If the victim is a minor, then it becomes a death penalty. But in the case of older women, it is rigorous imprisonment. ஸோ நார்மலாக பிஎன்எஸ் என்ன சொல்லுது, செக்ஷன் 70 clause 2லையும் செக்ஷன் 70 clause 1ல ரெண்டுலையுமே செக்ஷன் 70 என்ன சொல்லுதுன்னா 12 இயர்ஸ்க்கு கீழே உள்ள பொண்ணாக இருந்தால் பனிஷ்மெண்ட் வில் பி டெத் பெனால்ட்டி. 18 இயர்ஸ்க்கு அபவ்னு சொன்னால் ரிகரஸ் பனிஷ்மெண்ட். இது எப்போ கேங் ரேப்புக்கு மட்டும். செக்ஷன் 70 டாக்ஸ் அபவுட் கேங் ரேப். ஓகே, அண்ட் செக்ஷன் 71, 72, 73 டாக்ஸ் அபவுட் ரிப்பீட்டட் அஃபென்ஸ். ஒரு தடவை ஏற்கனவே பனிஷ்மெண்ட் இருக்கு, மறுபடியும் பண்ணால் அப்போ என்ன ஆகும் அப்படின்னு சொல்றது செக்ஷன் 71, 72 and 73. And apart from this, they also talk about publishing information related to court proceedings in rape cases. Information illegal வெளியில பப்ளிஷ் பண்ணா அதை பத்தியும் வந்து செக்ஷன் 71, 72, 73 பேசுது. Punishment will be given. And about acid attacks, what does it say? Rigorous imprisonment will be given. That is spoken in article 124. 70 is about gang rape, 124 is about acid attack. So in case of POCSO Act death, if death occurs in POCSO Act, what does this say? Highest punishment currently is life imprisonment. But this Aparajita Act, that here also they say death sentence also can be given. Apart from this, so one word என்ன சொல்லலாம்னா, எங்கெல்லாம் பிஎன்எஸ்ல ரேப்கான செக்ஷன்ஸ் இருக்கோ அங்கெல்லாம் வந்துட்டு அபராஜித் பில் என்ன சொல்லுதுன்னா லைஃப் இம்ப்ரிசன்மெண்ட் மென்ஷன் பண்ணியிருக்க எல்லா இடத்துலையும் டெத் சென்டென்ஸும் கொடுக்கலாம் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு எக்ஸ்ட்ரா மென்ஷன் பண்ணியிருக்காங்க. திஸ் இஸ் த டிஃபரன்ஸ். இது போக இன்னொரு விஷயம் என்ன முக்கியமாக செய்கிறாங்கன்னா, டாஸ்க் ஃபோர்ஸும் ஸ்பெஷல் கோர்ட்ஸும் கிரியேட் பண்ணணும்னு சொல்லியிருக்காங்க. திஸ் இஸ் ஒன் அதர் இம்பார்ட்டன்ட் பாயிண்ட் ஆஃப் திஸ் அபராஜித் பில். இட் இன்ட்ரோடியூசஸ் a new section to BNSS, section 29C. According to this, state government can create a special task force. In case of rape cases, they can create a special task force, state government. And in this, already in BNSS, some time is given to finish the case. Here they reduce the time. Time provided. Already it is 2 months. For investigation, 2 months kulara mudichagano, but they brought it to 21 days. And in case of special court, earlier it was 2 months. Within 2 months, a verdict should be given in case of rape cases. But this Aparajita bill has brought it down to 30 days. That is 1 month. Okay. So investigation should happen within 21 days. Verdict should be given within 30 days. This is the amendment done by this Aparajita. And Andhra Pradesh bill is called Disha bill. Bengal's bill is called Aparajita bill. Andhra Pradesh bill is called Disha bill. And what does this Disha bill say? We'll see here. Andhra Pradesh Act, Disha Act, criminal law. And they also provide for special courts. And this bill, it amended IPC 1860 and also criminal procedure code. ரெண்டையுமே அமெண்ட் பண்ணி இவங்க என்ன பண்ணாங்கன்னா ஸ்பெஷல் கோர்ட் வேணும்னு சொல்லியிருந்தாங்க. இப்போ நீங்கள் ஒரு டிஃபரன்ஸ் பார்க்கலாம். அபராஜிதா பில் பிஎன்எஸ் அமெண்ட் பண்ணுது, ஆனால் ஆந்திரா பில் வந்துட்டு ஐபிசி அமெண்ட் பண்ணுது. ஏன்னா ஆந்திரா பில் வந்து 2019 அப்போலாம் பிஎன்எஸ் வரவே இல்லை, அதனால தான் அவங்க ஐபிசி அமெண்ட் பண்ணியிருக்காங்க. தட்ஸ் த டிஃபரன்ஸ். ஓகே, like Aparajita bill, this Disha bill, that is Andhra Pradesh bill, also created special police team and exclusive special courts. Maharashtra bill is called Shakti bill. Okay, so this bill says death penalty in rape cases, and they also provided shortened timelines for conducting investigation. So Bengal's bill, Andhra's bill, Maharashtra bill, all are same. What do they say? They introduced death penalty. Second one, they reduced the time of investigation. These are the important points of all these acts. Shakti bill, Disha bill, all these bills are still pending. They have not become act. So Aparajita bill, we have to wait and see whether it becomes an act, and later we have to talk about it when news comes about that. Next topic, satellite based highway toll collection. So they are trying to collect toll using satellites. இதனால என்ன நடக்கும்னா, vehicles will not have to wait in the toll. இந்த பார் போட்டு வெயிட் பண்ண வைக்கிறாங்க இல்லையா, that wait will not happen. Now we are collecting toll using FASTag. So they are trying to convert it from FASTag into satellite based, and that satellite is going to be based on GNSS. Okay, navigation satellite use பண்ணி இது செய்ய பார்க்குறாங்க. Now the FASTag we are using, it is using RFID, and it was launched in 2015. Now 2024 we are converting from FASTag into GNS based satellite. And who is doing this? National Highways Authority of India. Under them there is a small organization called as Indian Highway Management Company. This company is creating this platform for collecting tax using satellites. So this is one more thing. And next topic, Chandipura virus. So they are doing a genome mapping for this Chandipura virus. We'll see what is this Chandipura virus. This virus causes encephalitis or brain swelling, and it has recently occurred in Gujarat. And apart from encephalitis, it can also cause fever, headache, convulsion, coma, and even death. This is death causing virus. This is important. And what is the vector for this? Sand flies, ticks, and our famous Aedes aegypti. The dengue, chikungunya la parapum pathingala, ade Aedes aegypti, it is also spreading this Chandipura virus. And recently occurred outbreak in Gujarat, it is because of sand flies. And see, mortality rate is as high as 75%. So death is a very big problem in this. It doesn't simply cause a fever or headache or anything. It can cause death. And one another important point is, so far it does not have any vaccine. It does not have any antibodies developed to it so far. That is one important problem. And one more important thing is, since 2003 when it was first seen, it has not mutated much. No much mutation at all. It is simply, it is just the same virus so far. These are the important points in this so far. No vaccination for this. No much mutation for this. And very little mutation has been seen, and it has been seen only in the glycoprotein gene. What is a glycoprotein gene? It is the responsible for binding that particular virus to the human cell receptors. There alone some இப்போ நம்ம கொரோனா வைரஸ்லாம் பார்த்துருப்பீங்க, அந்த ஹேர் லைக் ஸ்ட்ரக்சர் இருக்கும், தட் இஸ் கால்ட் அஸ் glycoprotein gene. அதில் மட்டும் கொஞ்சம் மியூட்டேஷன் நடந்திருக்கு, மோஸ்ட் ஆஃப் மியூட்டேஷன் நடக்கல. ஜஸ்ட் யூ ஹேவ் டு நோ ஒன் prelims point, Chandipura virus, it causes encephalitis or brain swelling. That's it. And it is whether it is fatal, yes, it is fatal. And about birth anniversary of Sri S. Radhakrishnan, most of the points we already know. Some point in art and culture, it seemed to be very new to us. That's why I took this point. He was one of the proponents of non-dualistic, that is Advaita tradition. We know Advaita tradition was introduced by Adi Shankara. So he later reintroduced this Advaita tradition to India. That is one important point. So this could become a prelims question. So try to know this. The next topic is an old topic which we have discussed many times, but they have given us a comparison here. The agriculture happening in the Punjab Haryana region, and what is the difference between Punjab and Haryana? They say there is a difference in the pattern there. Okay, and why we have chosen this article? This article, we know it's obviously important for mains, but in the case of prelims, we saw a similar question coming in 2023 prelims. That is the net sown area, the percentage of a crop zone in a particular place. India and China compare pannila or question ketranga. So these questions are expected. So we'll see what's happening here. So first they talk about Green Revolution. Green Revolution had its merit and its demerit. Merit was it helped many people from getting into starvation. It helped the food security of India. Yes. On the other side, the negative side of Green Revolution, it led to monocropping. ஏன்னா rice, wheat, இது ரெண்டுக்கு மட்டுமே MSP கொடுத்தாங்க கவர்மெண்ட். அப்போ every farmer wanted to cultivate only these two crops, and this led to the infertility of the soil and the reduction of groundwater. Particularly rice, we know it needs flood irrigation. Lot of water is needed. So all this water was drawn from the ground, because that region is not very famous for rainwater, nor does it have any perennial rivers flowing there which can be used for canal irrigation. The most amount of water is drawn from groundwater, which led to groundwater depletion. Okay, this is the negative side. And if you see here, in the case of Punjab, Punjab is third in both wheat and rice output. Indiaவிலே அவங்க third placeல இருக்காங்க ரெண்டுலயுமே. So much of cultivation happens on only these two crops. So what is the result of this? As we told, depletion of groundwater. But this news particularly எதை பத்தி பேசுது? Difference between Punjab and Haryana. Haryana, they say they have a far less monoculture. அப்ப என்ன, வேற கிராப்ஸும் ஹரியானால கல்டிவேட் பண்றாங்க அப்படின்னு சொல்றாங்க. Some of the important crops cultivated in Haryana apart from rice and wheat include cotton, bajra, guar. இது எல்லாமே வந்துட்டு காரிஃப் சீசன்ல கல்டிவேட் பண்றாங்க. ராபி சீசன்ல சன்ஃப்ளவரும் கல்டிவேட் பண்றாங்க. So here other crops are also cultivated. And moreover, one more thing, when we compare rice also, basmati, non-basmati ரெண்டுமே கல்டிவேட் பண்றாங்க ஹரியானால. There is a good share for basmati as well. But basmati does not have this issue of monoculture. அது மோனோகல்ச்சருக்குள்ளே வர்றதில்லைன்றாங்க. ரீசன் என்னன்னா, பாஸ்மதிக்கு எம்எஸ்பியே கிடையாது. ஸோ பாஸ்மதி வந்து ஓப்பன் மார்க்கெட்டில் மோஸ்ட்லி எக்ஸ்போர்ட்டுக்காக விற்கப்படுறது. ஸோ நல்ல மார்க்கெட் இருந்தால் கல்டிவேட் பண்ணுவாங்க, மார்க்கெட் சரியில்லைன்னா கல்டிவேட் பண்ண மாட்டாங்க. எம்எஸ்பிக்காக மட்டுமே போய் கல்டிவேட் பண்ணுறது பாஸ்மதிக்கு கிடையாது. ஸோ மோனோகல்ச்சரில் பாஸ்மதி வர்றது கூட இல்லை அப்படின்றாங்க. ஸோ நமக்கு இதில் ப்ரிலிம்ஸ் பாயிண்ட் என்னன்னா, நோ எம்எஸ்பி இஸ் கிவன் ஃபார் பாஸ்மதி. ஸோ இது மட்டும் உங்களுக்கு பர்டிகுலராக தெரிஞ்சுக்கணும். ஹரியானால வாட்டருக்காக யூஸ் பண்ணுற ரெண்டு முக்கியமான இரிகேஷன் சிஸ்டம்ஸ் ஆர் தேர். நோ தீஸ் நேம்ஸ் ஃபார் ப்ரிலிம்ஸ். Western Yamuna irrigation system and Bakra. Both these are canal systems. ரெண்டு canal systems இருக்கு, Western Yamuna and Bakra. Now see the difference here. இந்த ரெண்டு canalமே வந்துட்டு they do not give water to southern part of Haryana. They are only supporting northern part of Haryana, which means southern part of Haryana cannot cultivate rice. So they go for crop diversification. இதனால தான் பஞ்சாபை விட ஹரியானால அதிக crop diversification இருக்குது. So what are the crops they go for? As we saw already, bajra, guar, jowar இதெல்லாம் காரிஃப் சீசன்ல ஹரியானால கல்டிவேட் பண்றாங்க. Apart from this, there is one more reason. Haryana state government specifically gives MSP for other crops other than rice and wheat. எந்தெந்த கிராப்ஸ்க்குன்னு பாருங்க, சன்னா, மூங், அது இல்லாமல் 16 வெஜிடபிள்ஸ், அப்புறம் 3 ஃப்ரூட்ஸ், வெஜிடபிள்ஸ், சன்னா, இந்த மாதிரி நிறைய கிராப்ஸுக்கு எம்எஸ்பி இஸ் கிவன் பை Haryana government. So this encourages the farmers to go for crop diversification. This MSP scheme is called Bhavantar Bharpai Yojana. So this is important for prelims fact. Bhavantar Bharpai Yojana is a scheme which gives MSP for other crops than wheat and rice in Haryana. Okay, now see this table here. Very important details are here. See, Punjab Kharif season la rice mattume 86.78%, nearly 87% only rice, and none other crops are more than 10%, even 5% kuda illa. But on the other side, see Haryana in Kharif season 49.39% rice. But இந்த இடத்துல பாருங்க, cotton 22, bajra 17%. So other crops also have their share in that crop pattern. And in Rabi also, if you see Punjab 98% kitta, it is only wheat. But see Haryana, Rabi wheat is 75, but mustard is also 22%. So other crops also have their share in the land use pattern or cropping pattern. So this is one important comparison between Punjab and Haryana. This type of questions, these details you can very well use in a question which talks about groundwater depletion or about green revolution, food security, why Punjab and Haryana are very much dependent on rice and wheat. இந்த மாதிரி இடங்கள்லாம் நீங்கள் இந்த மாதிரி பாயிண்ட்ஸ் வந்து மெயின்ஸ் எக்ஸாமில் யூஸ் பண்ணிக்கலாம். And one another important topic, there is a link between light pollution and Alzheimer's disease. We know light pollution causes many other problems, that like the birds are not able to find their way, their pattern is confused, so some of the birds die because of this. Because of this, the crop patterns are also changing. So many differences we saw, and even some crops are suffering and they are even mutating because of this light at night time. இதெல்லாம் நம்ம ஆல்ரெடி முன்னாடி பார்த்திருந்த விஷயங்கள். Now they are linking light pollution with Alzheimer's. Okay, so what is Alzheimer? It is a type of disease under dementia. Dementiaன்றது ஒரு umbrella term. அதுக்கு கீழே உள்ள diseasesல Alzheimer is one disease. Okay, some facts here are 55 million people across the world suffer from dementia. In India, 3 to 9 million Indians suffer from dementia. Okay, so what causes Alzheimer's? Various factors are there. It could be genetic factor, some medical conditions, and also environmental stress. Even stress can cause Alzheimer's. That is what they say here. And apart from this, now they are linking that diabetes, hypertension, யாருக்கெல்லாம் டயபெட்டிஸ் இருக்கோ ஹைப்பர் டென்ஷன் இருக்கோ அவங்களுக்கு அல்சைமர் வர்றதுக்கான சான்சஸ் ஆர் ஹையர் அப்படின்னு சொல்றாங்க. ஆனால் டயபெட்டிஸ் விட ஹைப்பர் டென்ஷன் விட இந்த நைட் டைம் லைட் இன்டென்சிட்டி இன்க்ரீஸ் ஆகும்போது அதிக சான்சஸ் இருக்கு அல்சைமர் வர்றதுக்குன்னு சொல்றாங்க. ஸோ ஒய் when there is night time light exposure, what happens is circadian rhythm is changed. What is the circadian rhythm? அதாவது என்னன்னா காலையில் 6 மணிக்கு சூரியன் உதிக்கும், அது கூட நம்ம எல்லாரும் எந்திரிப்போம், எல்லாரும் நாள் முழுக்க வேலை செய்வோம், நைட் ஆனாலும் தூங்குவோம். இப்படி ஒரு சிர்காடியன் ரிதம் நம்மளுக்கு லேக்ஸ் ஆஃப் இயர்ஸ், நம்மளுக்கு மனுஷங்க உருவாய் 2 மில்லியன் இயர்ஸ் ஆச்சுன்னு தெரியும். That 99% of historical time in a human evolution in that stone age periodல எல்லாத்துலேயும் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா சிர்காடியன் ரிதம் நம்ம ஃபாலோ பண்ணியிருக்கோம். Suddenly in this last 50 to 60 years there is a sudden drastic change where at night time there is more light intensity, so that is affecting the circadian rhythm. அது மட்டும் இல்லாமல் ஒழுங்காக தூங்குறதுல hampers sleep, and this causes other disease as well, and one such disease is this Alzheimer's. Okay, so try to keep this in mind. It could come in prelims and as well as mains. Okay, and we have another important topic today, gender apartheid அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு ஒரு டேர்ம் சொல்றாங்க. தாலிபான்ல சில முக்கியமான ஆக்ட்ஸை ஃபார்மலைஸ் பண்ணியிருக்கிறாங்க. இதை வந்து யுனைடெட் நேஷன்ஸ் என்ன டேர்ம் சொல்லி கூப்பிடுறாங்கன்னா ஜெண்டர் அப்பர்த்தீட்னே சொல்றாங்க. அப்பர்த்தீடுன்ற வேர்டு எங்க நம்ம யூஸ் பண்ணியிருப்போம்? ஆப்பிரிக்காவில், சவுத் ஆப்பிரிக்காவில் யூஸ் பண்ணியிருப்போம். அதாவது பிளாக் பீப்புளை மட்டுமே டிஸ்கிரிமினேட் பண்ணுறது, அவங்களுக்கு மட்டுமே தனி ரூல்ஸ் போடுறது, அவங்க மட்டுமே கையில் பாஸ் எடுத்துகிட்டு போகணும்னு சொல்கிறது, அவங்களுக்கு தனியாக லைசன்ஸ் வாங்கணும்னு சொல்கிறது, அவங்க வேற ஒரு ஏரியாவில் குடியிருக்கணும்னு சொல்கிறது. இந்த சார்ட் ஆஃப் டிஸ்கிரிமினேஷனை நம்ம அப்பர்த்தீடுன்ற வேர்டு யூஸ் பண்ணியிருந்தோம். இங்கே தாலிபான் ரெஜிம் ஆப்கானிஸ்தானில் ஜெண்டர் அப்பர்த்தீடுன்ற வேர்டை யூஸ் பண்ணுறாங்க. ஏன் அப்படின்னு சொல்லி பார்த்தீங்கன்னா ஒரு புது ஆக்ட் வந்திருக்கு. அந்த ஆக்டுக்கு பேர் வந்து மொராலிட்டி லா. அதாவது மாரலாக எப்படி இருக்கணும், ஒழுக்கமாக இருக்கிறது எப்படின்னு சொல்லி ஒரு லா போட்டிருக்கிறாங்க. ஸோ இந்த லாவில் என்னென்னலாம் இருக்குன்னு பார்ப்போம். தேர் இஸ் அ கோட். விமன் ஷுட் ஆல்வேஸ் கவர் தேர் என்டையர் பாடி வித் வெயில். கம்ப்ளீட் பாடி வந்து கவர் பண்ணியிருக்கணும். ஏன் அப்படின்னு சொல்கிறாங்கன்னா அப்படி அவங்க என்டையர் பாடியை கவர் பண்ணலன்னா டெம்ப்ட் பண்ணுதான், ஆம்பளைங்களை வந்து டெம்ப்ட் பண்ணுது. இட் டெம்ப்ட்ஸ் மென். ஸோ விமன் ஷுட் கவர் தேர் என்டையர் பாடி. திங்க் இஃப் திஸ் சச் அ ரூல் இஸ் மேட் இன் இந்தியா ஆர் எனி அதர் கண்ட்ரி, வாட் வி வில் டூ? நம்ம என்ன சொல்லுவோம்? உனக்கு டெம்ப்ட் ஆச்சுன்னா நீ கண்ணை முடிக்க மேன், யூ கோ மேன், ஒய் மீ அப்படின்னு சொல்லி நம்ம சொல்லுவோம். ஓகே, ஆனால் இங்கே வந்து பார்த்தீங்கன்னா திஸ் இஸ் த ரூல். அதோட நிக்கல இன்னும் நிறைய இருக்கு. விமன் பேசுனா அல்லது பாடுனா அவங்க வாய்ஸ் வந்து எப்படி இருக்குன்னு சொன்னால் ரொம்ப இன்டிமேட்டாக இருக்கான். தேர் வாய்ஸ் இஸ் டெம்ப்டிங் இட் சீம்ஸ். ஸோ தே ஷுட் நாட் சிங், தே ஷுட் நாட் ரீட் இன் த பப்ளிக். அவங்க வாய்ஸ் வந்து பப்ளிக்கில் கேட்கவே கூடாது அப்படின்னு சொல்லியிருக்கிறாங்க. ஓகே, அது மட்டும் இல்லாமல் ஏதாவது மியூசிக் வீடியோஸ் ஆர் எனி வீடியோஸ் எல்லாம் இருந்துச்சுன்னு சொன்னால் இட் இஸ் நாட் அபவுட் விமன் ஆக்டிங், அதுக்குள்ள சான்ஸே இல்லை. மிக்சிங் கூட பண்ணக்கூடாது சொல்லியிருக்காங்க. மென்னும் விமனும் இருக்கிற மாதிரி ஒரு மியூசிக் வீடியோலாம் வந்துட்டு உருவாக்கவே கூடாது அப்படின்னு சொல்லியிருக்கிறாங்க. அப்பார்ட் ஃப்ரம் திஸ், men and women should not meet, should not look against each other if they are not blood related. மேபி அண்ணன் தங்கச்சி அந்த மாதிரி இருந்தால் பார்த்துக்கலாம் ஒருத்தருக்கு ஒருத்தர், ஏன்னா கண்ணுக்கு நேராக கூட ஒருத்தர் பார்க்கவே கூடாது அப்படின்னு சொல்லியிருக்கிறாங்க. And apart from this, this code has something like persecution of LGBTQ people and also persecution of religious minorities. இது ரெண்டும் வேற இந்த கோட்ல இருக்கு. இது ட்ரெஸ் கோடு மென்னுக்கு மட்டும், விமெனுக்கு மட்டும் இல்லை, மென்னுக்கும் இருக்கு. மென்னுக்கு என்னன்னு சொன்னா நீக்கு மேல, above the knee they should not wear any dress and they should not trim their beard. Everyone should have a beard. Beard வைக்கணும்ன்ற முதல் கொண்டு போட வச்சிருக்காங்க. Okay, now the question is whether this is new. No, this was already existing, but the difference is already it was there, but it was informal. இதெல்லாம் அப்படியே ஒரு கண்டிஷன்ல ஃபாலோ பண்ண வச்சிருந்தாங்க. Now it has become formalized. How far it has become formalized? That is, மொராலிட்டி இன்ஸ்பெக்டர்ஸ் தனி ஆஃபீஸர்ஸ் வச்சிருக்காங்க. இவங்க ஊருக்கு சுத்திட்டே இருப்பாங்க. எங்கேயாவது யாராவது தாடியை ட்ரிம் பண்றதோ, இல்ல விமன் வந்து ஃபுல் பாடி கவர் பண்ணலையோ, இல்ல யாராவது விமன் வந்து பாட்டு பாடுறதையோ, இல்ல சவுண்ட புக்கு படிக்கிறதையோ எதையாவது பார்த்துட்டாங்கன்னா they will immediately arrest them. Okay, and that does not stop there. Common people are also given permission for this. Common people, if someone sees any of these rules not followed, they can immediately complain to the authorities. அதாவது காமன் பீப்புளோட வேலை என்னன்னா போட்டு கொடுக்குறது. ஸோ போட்டு கொடுக்குற வேலை காமன் பீப்புளுக்கு வேற கொடுத்து வச்சிருக்காங்க. ஓகே, ஸோ திஸ் மேக்ஸ் த சிச்சுவேஷன் ஈவன் வர்ஸ். ஓகே, யார் கூட 2 பேருக்கு சண்டை இருக்குன்னு சொன்னால் இரு 2 சண்டை போட்டல, இரு நீ போயிட்டு வந்துட்டு கோடை மீறணும்னு சொல்லி போட்டு கொடுத்து வந்துடுறேன்னு சொல்லி அப்படி ஒரு நிலைமை உருவாயிடலாம் இங்க அப்படின்னு சொல்லி வந்துட்டு பேசியிருக்காங்க. ஓகே, that's it. Now we'll see the next topic, another one important topic coming under science and tech. So there is a new treatment for multi-drug resistant TB. Now we know multi drug resistant TB is a huge problem nowadays in India. ஏன்னா TBன்றது ஒரு bacterial disease we know, and bacterial diseases are generally cured using antibiotics, but when that disease becomes drug resistant, the antibiotics will not work. So disease will be there, but the medicine will not work. A grave situation this is. Okay, now India is facing that actually, but now they have approved a new medicine, which is a good news actually. And this regime is called as BPALM regime, BPALM regime அப்படினு சொல்லியிருக்காங்க. So what is this regime? It has 4 drugs, and that is why it is called BPALM as well. Here that B stands for bedaquiline, and P stands for pretomanid, and linezolid, and moxifloxacin. These are the 4 drugs that are used in this regime. And this regime, they say this treatment is better than the previous treatment. Previous treatment was called as MDR TB. Important, this could be suddenly simply given in the prelims and asked what is this. MDR TB is a regime treatment for drug resistant TB. So this regime is kept under National TB Elimination Program. ஸோ டிபியை வந்து இந்தியாவிலேருந்து எலிமினேட் பண்ணணும் 2025 குள்ளன்னு ஃபர்ஸ்ட் சொல்லியிருந்தாங்க. லேட்டர் த ஈவன் மூவ்டு த டார்கெட். நவ் திஸ் நேஷனல் டிபி எலிமினேஷன் ப்ரோக்ராம் ஹேஸ் என்காம்பஸ்ட் திஸ் BPALM regime. Now India 75,000 drug resistant TB patients will now be able to benefit from this. So India has 75,000 drug resistant TB patients alone. This you can use it very well in your mains exam. Okay, now beyond this, now anti-TB drug called as pretomanid along with bedaquiline and linezolid, and this could be with or without moxifloxacin. So number total of 4 drugs we told. The last drug moxifloxacin is an option. It depends that it might be used, it might not be used. Okay, thank you. And we have covered most of the articles which we expect could be reflected in the exam so far. And thanks for spending your time. I hope you would have also taken notes, and whatever screen that I have shared you with you now, the same you can download it as a PDF in the description. We welcome your comments, any changes we have to make. We would love to hear your comments as well. Thank you. Thanks for your time.